Once upon a time, in a peaceful village, nestled among green hills, lived a hard-working salt seller. Every morning, long before the sun rose, he would load big bags of salt onto his donkey and head to the market. Now this donkey was strong, but oh, was he lazy? He was always looking for a way to avoid work, even though his owner treated him with kindness. Their path to the market was a long one, winding over hills and stones and across a narrow wooden bridge that spanned a wide river. One sweltering morning, as they were crossing this very bridge, the donkey's foot slipped. He lost his balance and tumbled right into the cool water below. Splash! The salt seller rushed to pull him out. By the time the donkey was back on his feet, most of the salt had dissolved in the river. He felt his back and was amazed. The load was so light. Wow, this is great, he thought, trotting happily the rest of the way. His owner, however, sighed, knowing he'd lost a lot of money. The very next day, as they approached the same bridge, a mischievous idea popped into the donkey's head. If I fall in again, he schemed, my load will get light again. So, pretending to slip, he deliberately leaned over and fell into the river. Oh no, not again, the salt seller cried out. But as he pulled the donkey out, he noticed the animal looked smug and happy. The salt had melted away, and the salt seller finally understood the donkey's trick. Ah, you silly animal, he muttered. You think you're clever, but you'll learn your lesson soon. That evening, the salt seller devised a clever plan. The next morning, instead of salt, he filled the bags with soft, fluffy cotton. From the outside, they looked exactly the same. The donkey didn't notice a thing. When they reached the bridge, he grinned to himself. Time for my brilliant trick, he thought. He faked a stumble and leaped into the water. But this time, something was very, very wrong. The cotton soaked up the water like a giant sponge. It became incredibly heavy, far heavier than the salt had ever been. The donkey struggled to stand. His legs trembled under the immense weight. He could barely breathe as he dragged himself, wet and miserable, out of the river. The salt seller stood on the bridge, watching with a knowing smile. So, my dear friend, he said, you wanted to trick me, didn't you? I think you've learned your lesson now. The donkey was utterly ashamed. His ears drooped, and he hung his head low, realizing his laziness had only brought him more trouble. From that day on, he never tried to play any tricks again. He worked hard and carried his loads carefully, becoming one of the most well-behaved animals in the village. The salt seller would often tell his story, saying, my donkey thought he was smart, but his foolish plan only brought him pain. The right path might be difficult, but it's the only one that leads to peace and true success. And that, my friends, is a lesson for all of us. Laziness and shortcuts might seem tempting, but honesty and hard work are what truly pay off in the end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that teach us valuable lessons. See you next time.